Alrighty. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. Hope you're all doing well. My name is Karison. I'm on the customer success team here at Commerce7. And today I will be, so we'll be going over club package processing. I'll be going over different scenarios that happen in a club processing period before you process the club, the day of processing, and different scenarios that happen after. So I'll be going through those scenarios and the general strategies that you want to think about and consider as you're navigating through those. But to start, I want to just do a high-level walkthrough on the club processing functionality. It'll be a brief walkthrough. It'll be a brief walkthrough. If you would like a demo with more details on the functionality of each fields and what are the different options and what they do, I'd encourage you to look into our documentation site, look up club package processing. You should be able to find the main page. There's a demo video that walks through all that. It's about a 20-minute video that's pretty thorough. So I'll just do a quick high-level walkthrough to get the presentation started so we can build on top of that package for the other scenarios that we're working on. So for club package, we're going to navigate over to the dashboard. I'm going to go to the club section and the packages section. And here it will list all the packages that I have that is in a status of planning or active. So here is a package that I recently created that's currently in a planning status for my 12-bottle club. In a club package, there is 4 main steps. The first step is around the settings and configuration of the package itself. So you're determining when the package will process, if you're allowing customers to ship their club package early, the level of flexibility that you want to allow your customers to have, if you want to add requirements for customers to be able to requirements for their club package, you can add it here. There's a section for email instructions. Whatever text you enter here will be embedded in the 2-week and 2-day reminder email, which are communication emails that we automatically send for club packages. I'll go into more details on what information generally goes in here. Yeah, that's the field and the functionality around the email instruction text box here. Lastly, we have coupons and package. If you want to add additional discounts to certain segments of your club members, or if you want to add additional discount to this entire club package, we encourage you to use coupons, and you can add whatever coupon you want to add to this package in here. And yeah, we'll also touch more on that as well in the later slides. On step 2 is where you determine the items that your customer will receive and can select from, the pool of products that your customers can select from, assuming that you allow them, user can choose in this item selection section. So here, when you're adding a product, you can determine the default min, max, and price. Actually, not the price. The price is just pulling from whatever you have in the product. So default min max you can configure. Default is what all your club members will receive if they don't log in or make any changes to their shipment. And the min max is if they do make changes, what's the range that you're allowing them to select for this particular product. So in this case, we've created a package with 12 bottles with 4 of each products here. And then the Pinot Gris is default 0. So if your club members want to add more, they can do so online. But it defaults to 0 for the Pinot Gris. Step 3 is your list of customers or list of club members that will be processed. Right now, we're not able to process it yet because it's still in planning status. You do have the ability to filter with the functionalities up here. These filters will filter the list of club members that show up here. If you do perform an export, it will only export whatever you have filtered. So if you have a long list, and you add some filters and it shortens the list, and then you choose to export, it will only export the short list that you filtered. And same thing if you choose to process manually under more actions. Once it's active, you'll be able to process. It will follow. It will only process the orders that meet the filter criteria, the packages that meet the filter criteria. And lastly, on step 4 is where you see your inventory forecasting or inventory considerations. It will tell you the bottles that would be required if every single shipment on step 2 is successfully processed. And then it also shows you what you have available in stock for that product in the respective location that it needs to pull from. If the required quantity goes over the available for sale, it will have a red icon that says low. And then in the presentation, we'll touch upon how you want to handle that scenario and what you could do when your inventory is low. Awesome. So that's a high-level walkthrough of the club package functionality. As I mentioned, for more details, check out our documentation, watch the video there, and there's also a lot of more detailed content covering the different functionalities available and different fields available. All right. Next topic I want to talk about is the email instruction. So I showed you on step 1 of the club package, there's a box for email instructions. The text that you enter there will populate in the 2-week and 2-day reminder email that gets triggered respective to your auto process date. Some information that I've seen included in there would be things like default wine information. I think in this step, what you're really trying to accomplish 2 things. You're establishing and informing your club members of what they should expect in terms of dates and pickup information, policies, and things like that. And then it's also an opportunity for you to encourage your customers to adjust their shipment and add more wine. Because we've seen that if customers adjust their shipment, their average order value goes up. So the email instruction, because it's sent 2 weeks and 2 days before the process date, is a good opportunity for you to inform your club members and also encourage them to adjust their shipment. One way to do that would be to outline information about the wines. I've seen email instructions where it describes why certain wines are only accessible to this membership and why it's a privilege to be able to purchase a certain wine. And they'll outline in the email instruction, which will then encourage the customer to adjust their shipment and perhaps purchase more of that bottle that is exclusive to that club level. Some email instructions will outline minimum requirements because in the adjust step, the club member needs to consider the minimum requirements that they need to meet in order to save the packages. Encouraging them by offering free shipping and highlighting that if they add more items to their shipment, their free shipping or discounted shipping will remain, is a great way to encourage customers to adjust their shipment and add more wine. Since they're getting a shipment anyways, they may want to receive a larger shipment. Final day for order changes and special requests. I've seen this implemented for, I think, larger clubs. Technically, you can make changes all the way up to the process date. But this is a good way for you to add like a buffer to say that the final day for changes, address changes, special requests is this deadline. And then you can make an exception or whatever for people that request for after, but it's a good piece of information to include in your email instruction to sort of not have all your special requests come in on the last minute. Payment date, order ship date, so information about what your customers, your club members should expect pickup deadline and pickup information. So where the pickup customers, where can they pick it up? A deadline for when they can pick it up, and then what happens if they don't. You can also outline your exchange and refund policy, so that your customers know what they should expect if they want to change their club shipment after it's been processed. And lastly, with COVID, I've been seeing a lot more of the virtual tastings. So after the shipment's processed and everyone receives the wine, the winery will put together a virtual tasting, and the email instruction is a good time to add information about that, a time, a date, and a link to the virtual tasting that your club members can join. All right, so those are kind of the considerations and the common information that I've seen get populated in the email instruction field by wineries. Okay, now I want to talk about how you can add extra discounts for some club members and what's the best way to do this. So the best way to provide an extra discount for some of your club members within the same package is to create a customer tag using club membership condition, and then creating a coupon for that tag. And then lastly, you don't want to share the coupon code. So you want to create a coupon code that's fairly long. Don't share the coupon code because it's not channel specific. It can theoretically be used on the web, but this should work for just discounting some club members within a club package. So I'll quickly demo the process for that. We'll navigate over to the marketing section, and we'll go to queries, and we're going to create a customer query. Let's say we want to create an additional discount for club members who signed up before 2020. Say, so what you can do is customers found in the following club membership condition, where sign up date is less than January 1st, 2020. And I can say club members that are in my 12 bottle club that are active. And here, I can execute the query and create tag from the list. And then lastly, create the coupon for that customer tag. So create a coupon, club discounts for members before 2020. Discount members 2020. And you can create it for a specific tag, and you can create club members who signed up before 2020, and then add the discount here. Let's say you're adding an additional 10% discount from the club or the normal price, then you can do that here and save it. And lastly, you want to add it to the package. Yeah, and once that's done, we should expect the customers that are tagged with this tag who meet the query that we created to receive the additional 10% discount. All right. All right, next topic I want to talk about is a collateral product. So collateral product is a product type that allows you to set up a $0 item, commonly a piece of collateral that is added to a club shipment. You can create a collateral, for example, for a newsletter, for a club package, if your fulfillment company can't dynamically inject a newsletter. The functionalities around a collateral SKU is that customers cannot see the collateral SKU if they log in online. They don't need to know that they're receiving a newsletter as a part of their order, so they won't be able to interact with it or add a second newsletter to their upcoming package. And they also don't count for quantity requirements. So if you have quantity requirements configured in your club package, these collateral SKUs are not going to count towards that. So you're still requiring your customers to meet the quantity requirements and not count the newsletter or whatever other collateral you're adding. So let's do a quick demo on how you can create a collateral product and add it to the club package. Take this. So under store products, we're going to create a collateral product, add a product, and select the collateral product type. My last club shipment, I got a spice mix along with the wines. So that's an example of a collateral that I didn't see in my receipt or club package, but was included in the package as an add-on item. There was a spice mix and also like information about the wines that I received. So let's do a spice mix collateral here. The price is going to be 0. Cost of goods is going to be 0. Weight's going to be 0.1. No need to add anything else really, because it's not something that will be visible. I already created. All right, so now I'm going to add this spice mix 1, 2, 3 collateral SKU to my club package in step 2 in the items section. So I'm going to do default 1, min 1, and max is 1. And you should expect this to be added to all your club members' shipments. Awesome. Cool. Next, I want to talk about tagging club member shipments. So we, about 3 months ago, recently introduced a new query functionality for club member shipments. This is a good way to tag this club member shipments. And so you can process early or skip. Let's say you want to process a segment of your club shipments early. You can tag them using the functionalities in the club member shipment query and process that tag only. So let's demo that. So I'm going to navigate over to marketing queries, club member shipments, and add a club member shipment. Let's say, for example, you want to only process decline club orders that is shipping to California. You can create a tag for these club shipments and then just process that tag in the in step 3 of the club package. So decline club shipments to California. So you can say payment status for the package is declined, and then say that the ship to state is, or let's say it's BC for this. There we go. Then from here, you can execute query and you will receive a spreadsheet for all the club shipments that meet these criteria. It doesn't look like there is a way to tag them, unfortunately. I think this one is only an export functionality, and there isn't a way to tag the club member shipments to process, unfortunately. So. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I think this one, sorry about that. It kind of gets you halfway. You get the list using the club member shipment query, but there isn't a way to tag the club member shipments to then use that as a processing functionality at this time. Okay, moving on. Sorry about that. All right, so what to do when inventory is low. So we talked a little bit about step 4 and how you can be notified when your inventory is nearing out of stock or is low. So that would be this step right here. Now, at this point, all our wines are, we have enough stock to fulfill it. But if, let's say, you start running out of the availability for these products, and you're worried that when you run your club and you process your club, that it's going to dip below the available for sale, what you could do is you can go to step 2 and make changes to the default and max quantity for that particular bottle that you're running out of. So I'm going to activate this package so I can illustrate how this works. I want to hone in specifically on how does any change that you make on this step affect the packages on this step. And what we look at for that is the built status of the package. So we have 3 different built status available: not created, built, and edited. Not created means that the package has never been interacted with by the customer. The customer has never viewed it. They've never edited or added any wines to the package. So that's the not created status. Built means that the items in the club shipment matches the items in step 2, but the customer has seen it. So they've logged in online, they've seen what their upcoming club package is going to be. While they did not make any changes, they've already seen the package. So we're kind of on the hook for fulfilling those wines or those items, those same items, because that's what they're expecting. And then lastly, edited is if they've made any changes or edits to their club shipment. So we have, by default, everything is not created because no one has interacted with these packages as of now. So I'm going to go over to this package and make changes to certain things. And I'm going to change my Chardonnay quantity to 5. And that's the change I make. And now I see that the build status for this package shows as edited. If I go to step 2, edited the Chardonnay. I go back to step 2 and I decide to change the default count for the Chardonnay here. Let's say I'm running out and I change this to 1. And to get to the 12 bottles, I'm going to add this rosé to 7. So now I have my 12 bottles. What I expect to see on step 3 here is all the other packages should reflect the change except for this package that has been edited. So there we go. The package that has been edited remains the same. The reserve Chardonnay stayed at 5, even though we have reduced it to 1, because the club member has interacted and made edits to their shipment, so they should really receive what they're expecting to receive. But if I look at another package, I should expect to see the changes reflected. As you can see, now there's only 1 bottle of the reserve Chardonnay and the rosé went up to 7. So when you run into a scenario where you're starting to get worried that your inventory is running low, you can go to step 2 and reduce the default quantity. And that should change the shipment for anyone who has not seen their upcoming package. That's a good way to sort of reduce the required quantity for products that you're running out of. Cool. All right. Now I want to talk about the processing step itself. Auto processing happens at midnight on the auto process date. So the date that you select in the auto process field, the auto processing will happen at midnight that date. When the processing happens, we trigger 2 emails. We trigger the order confirmation club transaction emails. There's one for ship and one for pickup. In this email, I've seen wineries add information around their ship date. If they're planning on shipping maybe a week after the process date, they can add that information and really when the customer should expect to receive the tracking info. That could be added to the order confirmation club transaction email. A reminder that adult signature is required for your wine club so that you don't deal with any expensive returns and return shipping. Another email that we trigger in this step for the cards that decline is the club member shipment credit card decline email. A couple ideas that you want to add, that you can add to this email. Encourage your customers to add in a new credit card or enter a valid form of payment by outlining member-only releases that they don't want to miss, that's only available in this package, that would incentivize them to update their payment method. And you can let them know that they can still adjust their shipment after updating the credit card. So that's not going to just process right away. That's another good way to incentivize or encourage your club members to enter a new payment method. All right. The declines. After you process, we talked about the declines and the decline email, but you're likely going to have a segment of your club members and club shipments not go through due to credit card being declined for a variety of reasons. And the question is, how often should you reattempt payment for these declined transactions? So we've seen a few different strategies around this. 3 retries in 2 weeks, avoiding weekend, is a good way to sort of create a calendar for when you want to reattempt or reprocess those declined transactions. Some wineries do every day for the next 5 days. I've seen some services where they will try for 14 days after the scheduled payment date. And each time they attempt, it will trigger the card decline email. So then sort of encourage the customer again to update their payment method. And the third one, kind of a little bit less intrusive, waiting until a certain number of email notifications. So you can receive email notifications for club membership updates and card updates. So you can kind of set a threshold for the number of notification emails before you can reattempt the package and capture those declines. You want to communicate your retry plan to your customers and try different tactics to push your members towards action and adding a new payment method. Another thing for consideration is refusal rates peak towards the end of the month. So the time of the month maybe could be considered for when you want to retry a transaction, and time of day as well. I mean, it's unlikely that you're going to be processing clubs at night, but yeah, in general, you want to avoid doing that because the risk system is tightened. Cool. Okay, next topic is pickup orders that do not get picked up. Once you run your club, you'll process your all your pickup orders, and after a certain period, sometimes you'll have these sort of stale shipments that should be picked up but haven't been picked up after a long time. We encourage sending some communications to that segment of customers in the form of a pickup order reminder email. You want to set a deadline and communicate that. You can use our campaigns feature to communicate this information. And the way to do that would be to create a customer query with order conditions, look for club orders that are pickup that are not fulfilled. Those are your unpicked up club orders. Tag those customers and send an email to that customer segment. And then once the deadline hits, you want to perform a pickup to ship. So we have a functionality available to convert pickup orders into shipping orders. It will charge the default credit cards on file for the additional shipping fee, and it'll convert the pickup order into a shipping order using the credit card and the default address. So I'm going to demo that step here. So you can actually do that in the store section, and you can filter using, first you want to do channel. I want to look at only club orders. I want to look at club orders that are not fulfilled. And I also want to only look at pickup club orders. Let's expand this date range. Okay, so I have some pickup club orders here that are not yet fulfilled. You'll likely set your date range to be the date range of your club shipment. Then you click on this box, actions, change for pickup to ship. And then you're presented with this warning that describes what's going to happen. As mentioned, we will use the default shipping address and credit card. If they don't have a default for either one of this, the shipping order will not be created. Okay. Yeah, and lastly, just a reminder, don't forget to archive your club packages once you've done the pickup to ship. That's sort of kind of the end of your club package. You might have some declines that you might want to retry, but after a certain period, you want to archive your club packages to avoid confusion, because if they're not archived, your customers can see the package if they log in online. So archiving it kind of makes that user interface a lot clearer and easier to navigate. Awesome. So that's the end of my presentation. I'm going to open it up for questions. Feel free to ask any questions related to the presentation or anything about Commerce7. We would be happy to help.
Okay, so we do have quite an active chat right now. So we had a couple of feature requests that I've noted down to talk about with the product team. But otherwise, our first question is, can you remove or mark as sold out? And what does that look like to the customer?
There isn't a way to mark it as sold out, but you can set the default min max to 0. Which would, for all intents and purposes, sort of remove that item from being able to be selected in a club package, unless it's already in there. Yeah, there isn't a way to remove it, because if the item is in any club package, the system will restrict you from being able to remove that item from the package. You could theoretically change the product name and add brackets sold out. That would be like a workaround for that scenario. But yeah, those would be my recommendation on how to handle that scenario.
Awesome. So Marianne is asking, who pays if the pickup never happens and they have no one to sign if it gets sent back to the winery? So basically like a return club package. Who pays in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think ideally you find a way to recoup that from the customers. But if they're completely AWOL and you're not able to get a hold of them and get a new card or payment method, then you may not be able to recoup that cost. Yeah, I think that's sort of a business decision that your team needs to kind of figure out what to do and how to handle that scenario. If you want to consider that as a cost, or perhaps do something with the customer's membership, if they lose their membership privileges or something like that, would be things you can consider on what to do in that scenario.
Yeah, and Jessica just added a valuable tip here. They charge the member for that shipment, and they make sure that that's communicated as a policy in their emails to their customers. So that's a great workaround for that.
Yeah.
So Diolinda is asking, when a club member asks to be placed on hold and not to take the current package, how do you keep them a member but not to receive discounts when they come in?
Yeah, so on hold members is considered an active club membership in Commerce7, so they will still receive the club privileges. You can cancel a membership and uncancel it. So if you want to do a manual kind of task reminder on the hold end date to uncancel the membership, that would sort of do it, but it would take a lot of manual work to maneuver through.
Okay, we have another question from Natasha. So she says, we are just going live on C7 with our club shipment opening in April. We were told there is no note option in processing from members. Is there a way for members to communicate special requests like delayed shipping, etc.? Or what are most members using, what are most users doing to allow members to reach out?
Sorry, would you be able to repeat the first part again?
Yeah, so we were told there is no note option in processing from members. So I think basically a way for members to communicate any specifications that they might have with their club package, like a delayed shipping date or any other special requests they might want to communicate.
Yeah, you can add your contact information in the email instructions. I think that's the most common way club members will make changes or requests for these special requests is they reach out to like a wine club membership or wine club at the winery, or call in, provide your phone number, and then they can make the requests over the phone. Yeah, there's no note field built into Commerce7, but those other alternate methods of communication should work for you.
So Jessica's asking, you can uncancel memberships. Can you please demo that, please?
Yeah, now I'm doubting myself. Let's see.
Jessica does know best.
Yeah, let's see here.
We have some more questions too after we go demo through this.
Status canceled.
Remove cancellation at the bottom.
Yeah, remove cancellation. Yeah.
That's exactly how.
And it's back to active. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So the next question is from Sarah. So she's asking, what is the best practice when it comes to processing the club packages in a certain order so we can keep everything in order when it comes to fulfilling our shipping members? It seems when we auto process, it auto processes sporadically. Is there a way to process in an order, i.e. 12 bottles, 6 bottles, 4 bottles, 2 bottles?
Yeah, if you let the auto processing functionality go through, it'll go through the entire list of shipments that are in step 2. And then it will present the orders randomly in your order list. You can use the filters on step 2 to process certain segments first, and then that would create that segment of order separately than the other ones. So you can, let's say, process your pickup club members first, then, so you need to do this before the midnight auto process date happens. And if you do that, your orders should be segmented based on when you process it.
Awesome.
But yeah, you won't be able to use the auto process functionality and still segment it as you described.
Okay, so Deolinda is asking, how do we make task messages come in weekly versus daily, like the hold member? Is there a way to schedule the task for a certain date?
So tasks, when you create tasks, you can assign a date, but you are reminded that the frequency of the reminder cannot be edited. There's no remind every week, remind every day. The functionality for as soon as your task due date is met, I think we send an email every day after that. Yeah.
Awesome. And then I did note the 2 feature requests here. So to pause member benefits if the membership's on hold, and also a requested ship date for the customers. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. And then one more question from Diolinda. I did add a message on the packages for our members. I could not tell where it was embedded. I checked on the Commerce7 individual accounts and the emails tab, and it only shows our generic automatic, and I could not see where my special note was to be embedded.
So what you want to check in that scenario is that the email instruction tag is in your transaction email. So if you go to settings, transaction email, the email instructions get populated in these 2 transaction emails here, 2-day and 2 weeks. And you want to make sure you have this tag and it's exactly like this. Email instructions, no spaces. And this is where the text that you enter in your club package should populate. So if you're not seeing it, check if this tag is in the document. If it is, then send in a question to support and we can look into it further.
So Kenny is asking, is there a way to view all required inventory for all clubs in one place? If not, can this be added as a feature?
No, there isn't a way to do that. It's by package, but we'll definitely make a note for that and pass it along to our product team.
Got that jotted down here. There's nothing else left in the chat. So if anybody wants to unmute themselves or ask any other questions, please feel free to do so at this time.
Hi there, it's Natasha again. Again, because we're new and we're kind of launching on Commerce7 and going right into Club Shipment, could you demo for us on the membership side, on the end user side, what this looks like for them from start to finish?
Yeah, let me see here.
Yeah, it might take a bit of time to do the whole process from start to finish on the front end. But Natasha, we could likely set up a video call with you and walk through that with you since you're a new user, if you'd like to do that with us. If you'd like to put your email address in the chat, I can reach out to schedule that with you.
Yeah, I want to see if there is an active one. We might get lucky here and there's a.
Yeah, we can try and walk through it now, but it might take a little bit more than the time that we have available. That's all.
Yeah. So yeah, this is one of the customers. They have the option to ship it now, adjust shipment. We made that change to 471. Is there a particular action that you're looking to have demoed?
No, I'm just, anxious because we don't have all of our clubs migrated yet, so we can't really play with things at the moment. So I just want to see how things look because we can't test yet. So that's all.
Gotcha. Yeah, so this is kind of the adjust shipment user interface. It outlines your minimum items, number of items in the cart, the items that are available to add on top of what's available. So this is the items that you list in step 2, and then details about the payment and where it's going. They can edit, set it to pick up if they want to, or a different address, change your payment method, skip and cancel is down here. Yeah, that's the gist of this view.
Okay,
Can I ask you a question?
Thank you.
Hi, this is Marianne. Can I ask a question still?
Yeah, for sure.
Of course.
Well, this is our first day with this Commerce7 and it's overwhelming. How long does it take to get this up to par?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Kind of ranges.
Up to par
in
a sense of setting up the clubs and the packages.
Everything.
Or,
just understanding the whole process. My God.
yeah. I think
what would you advise somebody to do?
We have really good documentation on clubs and club processing in general. So I'd recommend watching through the demo videos that we have available. I'm going to send out a recording for this webinar as well, so you can use that as reference. There's there's all sorts of information on our documentation site as well. And if you get stuck, you can reach out to support@commerce7.com, and we'll figure out the best way to get you unstuck.
Yeah, and Marianne, we're happy to hop on a call with you too and walk through anything on video as well if you get really stuck. So please just let us know if you need any help with that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. And then we do have another question in the chat here from Tierney. She's asking, how can we remove gift messages from club memberships? I keep getting club batched orders with old gift messages in them, and I'd like to be able to remove this from the membership itself rather than each order.
Yeah. So the gift message is added at the time of the sign up and gets added to all shipments for that club membership. We can certainly communicate this to our product team and add a feature request for the ability to interact with that gift message that is added upon sign up. But right now, it would be there isn't a way to remove that from the club membership.
Okay, and then we do have another question from Annette. Can you remove the skip and cancel links for the customer?
There isn't a way to do it from Commerce7. There is a way to hide these two buttons here. You can reach out to your designer and have them hide this via CSS. But it's not something we encourage. I think these two features are built to allow for better customer experience, for flexibility for the club members to skip their shipment and cancel. So yeah, it's not something we encourage or recommend, but it is possible if your designer hides these two buttons with CSS.
Awesome. Okay, Tierney, can I hide the ability for customers signing up online for the club from being able to add gift members? Sorry, let me just start over. Can I hide the ability for customers signing up online for the club from being able to add gift messages in memberships? Like, can she eliminate that option?
No, unfortunately, the club sign up form is not editable. So that's controlled by Commerce7. It's the same form for all our wineries, and they all have the gift message functionality, and we wouldn't be able to remove it just for a specific tenant, unfortunately.
Okay, and then we do have a question from Little Engine Wines. Can we talk to our product team to add notes or special instructions to communicate with us about their shipment? When they have a large club, expecting telephone calls or emails can be difficult, and it's also asking another step of the customer. So I definitely see where you're coming from with that, and I will definitely make a note to talk about that with our product team. Okay, awesome, no problem. I think that's all of the questions in here.
Larissa, I think you're muted.
Hey guys, I'm muted now.
Hey.
Oh, awesome. Hey.
Thanks guys. Great Friday webinar as usual. And Natasha and Marian, welcome to the C7 family. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to be blown away. It's amazing. I remember when I first started with Commerce7 and it changed my world. So welcome guys. I have a question beyond our club pages. I'm looking to add additional experiences that our customers can book online, like tastings, tours, add a charcuterie board, add cheese, things like that. Is that possible? I don't know if we have time. I know we're running a little bit late today, but is that possible to do?
Yeah, so we have a reservation. Our reservation feature would be what I would recommend to handle the tastings. The additional cheese board, charcuterie board, we don't have that functionality unless you create like a separate reservation type. So like tasting with cheese plate, tasting with charcuterie board, which probably doesn't create a great customer experience because they're having to select between a whole list of,
Right.
yeah. So it's something you can consider, but we don't have a way to add on items to the tasting reservation booking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so just creating a completely different experience would be the best way to do that.
Yeah, an experience per like tasting with something, tasting with,
Okay.
if that's the option. And then when your customer is on the website, they'll see on the drop down that they have all these different options and book accordingly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one workaround for the because we're not able to add those items on the booking process for a single reservation type. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Perfect. That's everything I had today. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Larissa.
All right, cool. Looks like there's no more questions. Thanks everyone for joining. It's a longer one today, so thanks for your time. And see you all next week.
Thank you all.